Just last week, I was having a conversation with a young lady that's involved in the renewable energy space. And she was asking about future career prospects. She's about to graduate college and is trying to think through what next steps might make most sense for her professionally. It's clear she was being very thoughtful and very considerate about it. She had found a lot of the posts that I'd written and shared on LinkedIn and on Substack. And so she had reached out and we had a conversation. And at the end, she asked the question that I assume had been on her mind nearly the whole time, which was, should she consider future steps in the oil and gas industry? And she and I had a conversation about that. And over the course of the conversation, I realized this is probably a message that I should share more widely, because I'd imagine there's a lot of folks that are thinking through next steps professionally and whether oil and gas makes sense for them or not. So I'll share that here and give you a sense of how I'm thinking through it and one framework you might be able to use yourself to make a really important decision. The first thing I said was, if being involved in oil and gas would make it difficult for her to sleep at night, by all means, avoid it, right? If you feel some sort of moral or ethical tension around participating in oil and gas, then avoid it. It's not worth it, no matter how lucrative it may be for you, no matter how consequential your contribution may be. I don't believe it is worth struggling with your own conscience about whether you should participate there. It will be tough for you to invest yourself completely in having your largest impact if you're struggling at a meta level about whether it even makes sense for you to participate. So that's the first thing I would consider. If you feel real tension, existential tension toward oil and gas, it'd be tough for you, like I said, to go to sleep at night or to talk with your friends and family about it or to confide in friends about it. That's probably a sign that it's not the place in which you will find the comfort and the commitment that's necessary to make your best contribution. If that's not a problem for you, then I would absolutely consider oil and gas, in the sense that oil and gas demand continues to grow. It will be around in a meaningful sense for many decades into the future. Even if you buy the most aggressive projections of what may happen to oil demand growth. And keep in mind, those projections are being revised continuously in the direction of more hydrocarbon demand, not less. Uh, Even if you buy those aggressive projections, the fall in oil and gas demand will not be meaningful, will not be substantial, it will not be aggressive in itself. It will be a long, slow, gradual decline. And even if oil and gas demand gets cut in half at some point over the course of your career, it's such a massive industry, it's a massive sector of the economy, that even as it starts to shrink, it will have a huge footprint and a huge contribution to the world's energy systems. I say all of that to say there's not a future for people that are making career decisions right now where oil and gas is not a consequential endeavor. So, knowing it will be consequential and that there's a scarcity of high caliber folks in oil and gas, people are being driven out of the industry all the time. It might be PR related issues, it might be political issues, it might just be the market with where oil prices have been going and with layoffs and all the rest. People are being pushed out of the industry nearly continuously. And yet, the industry is of incredibly high consequence. And so there's more opportunity to make a greater contribution in oil and gas than almost anywhere else in the global energy system, and possibly in the global industrial or economic system writ large. Because of these political and public relations hurdles, there are great people that will choose to never participate in oil and gas. And many of these people that want to make a career in energy are being driven toward renewable energies. So there's now an abundance of talent and, in some cases, an abundance of capital that's being steered toward a relatively small part of the world's energy footprint. That leaves a huge part of the energy world's footprint where there are contributions to be made and a scarcity of high caliber people to make them. So if you're looking for just the most runway, the most opportunity to take on responsibility, to grow, to develop, to make a real contribution, oil and gas offers an incredible opportunity in that sense. What I also said was, even if you want to see substantial reform in the oil and gas sector, if you want to see it pivot, to really drive down its environmental footprint meaningfully, if you want to see the investment approach change within oil and gas, many of those changes are best made from within, right? When you learn how the sector functions, you learn how these corporate systems perform, how they've evolved over time, why they exist in the form they exist in, you will better be able to make cases about why the market, why public sentiment will not allow certain outcomes. And as a result, the oil and gas sector should indeed pivot and pursue some new outcomes, some new investment paradigms. All of that stuff is open for debate, right? One of the things that's most exciting about oil and gas is there is no tried and true playbook that is set in stone. The playbook evolves rapidly with the market and has for the history of the oil and gas sector. The realities of oil and gas change year to year. And as a result, in order to thrive in this industry, companies have to change their approaches to match the market. And so there's an incredible opportunity for anyone to build their career in oil and gas and to drive for the kinds of change they would like to see within this industry. So, my broader takeaway here is if you are thinking about future steps in terms of building a career for yourself, and you're thinking that energy may be a great place for you to do it, I would encourage you to at least consider oil and gas as an opportunity for you, as a way to make your best and highest contribution. Like I said, if you're turned off from that immediately, by all means, go find other places to make your contribution. The economy is massive. The energy apparatus globally is massive. You will find great places to go do incredible work. And if you find that oil and gas is an attractive place for you to contribute, I think you can make a fantastic career for yourself here, and you can do a lot of good for the world by making your best contribution in the oil and gas domain. Hopefully that bit of advice is helpful as you consider thinking through what your next steps might look like. If you want to, feel free to reach out. I'm on LinkedIn. You can leave a comment right here. My name is Jeff Krimmel, Krimmel. My direct messages on LinkedIn are open. So send me a note. I would love to chat. Best of luck as you think about your road ahead. It's very exciting times, and I wish you all the best.